Top 8 vitamins and nutrients to strengthen your legs. Prevent leg cramps in seniors. Have your legs ever made you feel older than you really are? Not your mind, not your energy, just your legs. Cramping when you're trying to sleep, trembling on the stairs, or feeling slower than you remember. It's not just frustrating, it can be frightening. Because when your legs stop cooperating, your world starts to shrink. That's exactly what happened to Linda. She used to be the fastest walker in her neighborhood group. Every morning at 6:30 sharp, she'd lace up her sneakers, grab her water bottle, and head outside with her favorite playlist in her ears. She loved that time. It was her space to breathe, to feel free. But over the past year, her legs started to betray her. First, it was small, some cramping here and there. Then she noticed she didn't feel steady on stairs. And one morning she tripped on a tiny crack in the sidewalk. It wasn't a major fall, but it shook her confidence more than her knee. After that, she started walking less, sitting more, skipping her favorite activities. Not because she didn't want to do them, but because she didn't trust her legs anymore. She never said it out loud, but quietly she began to wonder, is this just what aging feels like? Dr. Karen Lopez, a geriatric specialist with over 20 years of experience, hears this all the time. People come in and say, I guess I'm just getting older. But the truth is, your body isn't broken. It's just missing what it needs to stay strong. And that's why we're here. In this video, we're going to explore 8 essential nutrients that support strong, steady legs after 60. These are the vitamins and minerals that help your muscles contract and relax, that protect your bones, keep your balance sharp, and your movement smooth. With insight from Dr. Lopez, we'll break them down simply, clearly, and with stories you can relate to, like Linda's. Because your legs aren't just for walking. They're for dancing at your granddaughter's wedding, for standing in the garden on a warm spring morning, for carrying groceries without second-guessing your steps. They are the foundation of your independence, and you deserve to protect that independence. So if you've ever felt a cramp in your calf at 3 a.m., or hesitated before taking that first step down the stairs, you are not alone, and you are not powerless. Drop a 1 in the comments if any of this sounds like your story, or share what vitamin you're currently taking. It might be the exact tip someone else needs to hear today. Let's begin, together, with one of the most powerful yet commonly overlooked nutrients. Vitamin D, your body's natural sunshine signal. Have you ever noticed how different your legs feel after just a few days indoors? You're not alone. Many people don't realize how much sunlight, or the lack of it, affects the way our legs move, respond, and recover. And for older adults, this connection is even more important. Dr. Karen Lopez remembers one patient in particular. George, a retired school bus driver, came in complaining about persistent leg weakness. He said he'd started feeling slower going upstairs, and sometimes his legs just didn't seem to listen when he needed them to move quickly. After a few questions and a simple blood test, the answer was clear: a vitamin deficiency. Vitamin D isn't just a bone vitamin. It plays a crucial role in how your muscles contract, how your nerves communicate, and how your body maintains balance. It helps regulate the fast-twitch muscle fibers in your legs, those same fibers that stop you from stumbling or help you catch your balance when you trip. Without enough vitamin D, those fibers weaken, reactions slow down, cramping becomes more frequent, and even your posture can shift in ways that make everyday movement feel harder than it should. George wasn't spending much time outdoors anymore. Not since his arthritis flared up. And like many seniors, his skin wasn't absorbing sunlight as efficiently as it used to. But after a few months of simple changes, stepping outside for short walks in the morning sun, eating more vitamin D, rich foods like salmon and egg yolks, and taking a gentle supplement, he told Dr. Lopez something she never forgot. I didn't think it would matter, but I feel like I got part of my strength back. That's the power of giving your body what it quietly needs. If you've ever experienced leg stiffness or cramps and haven't been outside much lately, vitamin D might be playing a bigger role than you think. Go ahead, leave a quick comment below that says vitamin D if this resonates with you. You never know who else might need that reminder. Now, We've talked about the sunshine vitamin. But what happens when your bones, the very frame of your body, start losing strength too? Let's take a look at the next key player in leg health, calcium. Have you ever caught yourself hesitating before stepping off a curb? Not because you were tired, but because your legs just didn't feel as steady as they used to? That quiet hesitation is more common than people realize. And it's often your body's way of whispering, I need support. And one of the most essential types of support your legs rely on every day, especially as you age, is calcium. Calcium is best known for keeping bones strong, but it's more than just a bone builder. It's also a key player in every single step you take. Without enough calcium, your muscles can't contract properly, your reflexes slow down, and your legs begin to feel heavy and less responsive. Dr. Karen Lopez often explains it this way to her patients. Your muscles are like piano keys. Calcium is what lets them press down cleanly and release smoothly. Without it, every movement feels off-key. She recalls a woman named Ruth, a 72-year-old who had been active her whole life, but started noticing pain in her knees and occasional cramping in her calves. She chalked it up to just getting older. But after a bone density scan and a nutrition check, it turned out Ruth's calcium intake had been slowly declining for years. With a few adjustments, adding more leafy greens, almonds, and calcium-rich tofu to her meals, plus a gentle supplement, Ruth noticed her legs felt more stable and pain became less frequent. Calcium also protects against fractures, especially in high-risk areas like the hips and femur. Dr. Lopez sees it far too often. A small stumble turns into a serious fall because the bones weren't ready to catch the impact. If you ever experience leg fatigue, cramping, or slow recovery after simple activities, your calcium levels might be playing a bigger role than you think. Take a moment and drop a comment saying, calcium, if you've ever been surprised by how sore or shaky your legs felt after standing for a while. You might help someone else realize they're not alone. We've just talked about the structure, your bones. But let's move on to something even more invisible, yet just as powerful, vitamin B12, the quiet protector of your nerves. Have you ever stood up only to feel a strange tingling in your legs, or a heaviness that made each step feel like a chore? It's one of those subtle signs we often ignore. But behind that sensation might be a powerful nutrient your body is quietly missing: vitamin B12. B12 isn't just another item on a supplement bottle. It plays a direct role in how your nerves send messages to your muscles. Imagine your nervous system like a highway, and B12 is the electricity powering every signal. When you don't have enough of it, those signals slow down, get misdirected, or sometimes just don't arrive at all. That's when you start feeling off balance, numb, weak, or like your legs are responding a second too late. Dr. Karen Lopez tells the story of Marvin, a retired firefighter in his late 60s. He came in frustrated that even short walks around the block left his legs feeling uncoordinated and tired. It's like my legs know what to do, he said, but they don't get the message in time. Marvin's B12 levels were far below normal, likely due to a combination of age-related changes in stomach acid and years of heartburn medications, which can block B12 absorption. Once they addressed that with B12-rich foods like eggs, fish, and fortified cereals, and later a gentle supplement, he returned just a few weeks later with a huge smile. It's the first time in months my legs felt like mine again. That's the quiet miracle of vitamin B12. It doesn't scream for attention, but without it, your body struggles to move in sync. And here's something many don't realize. Seniors are especially vulnerable to B12 deficiency, even if they eat well. Reduced stomach acid, digestive issues, or certain medications can block B12 absorption without any obvious symptoms until it affects balance, reflexes, or even mood. If you've ever felt tingling, weakness, or just disconnected from your legs, B12 might be worth a closer look. Leave a quick B12 in the comments if you've ever experienced leg weirdness that you couldn't quite explain. You might inspire someone else to check something they didn't even know they were missing. So, we've looked at the nerve side of things. Next, let's talk about the mineral that keeps muscles from cramping and seizing: magnesium, your body's natural muscle relaxer. Do your legs ever twitch at night, like they've got a mind of their own? Or maybe you've been jolted awake by a sudden, sharp cramp in your calf. If so, your body might be missing something essential, not just for comfort but for control. That something is magnesium. Magnesium is the body's quiet muscle whisperer. It helps your muscles relax after every contraction. Without it, your legs stay tense, overreact, or cramp when they should be resting. It also helps regulate how calcium moves in and out of your muscle cells, making sure your steps feel smooth, not stiff or shaky. Dr. Karen Lopez recalls a patient named Diana. She was 67 and had recently retired from teaching. But what should have been a peaceful new chapter was being disrupted by relentless nighttime cramps. "They always hit when I'm finally resting," she said. "And by morning, my legs feel like I ran a marathon." After reviewing her diet and meds, Dr. Lopez noticed Diana was taking a diuretic for high blood pressure, one of many common medications that slowly drain magnesium from the body. Adding the fact that Diana rarely ate leafy greens or whole grains, and her low magnesium made perfect sense. They began with small steps: a handful of pumpkin seeds in her yogurt, more spinach in her lunch salad, and a low-dose magnesium glycinate supplement in the evening. Within weeks, the cramps had almost disappeared. But what touched Dr. Lopez most was this. "I finally sleep through the night," Diana said, "and I wake up without dreading how my legs will feel." Magnesium also plays a hidden role in bone health and energy production. Without it, even simple activities like walking can feel more tiring than they should. What's tricky is that magnesium deficiency often creeps in quietly, especially for older adults dealing with stress, medications, or digestion issues. That's why symptoms like fatigue, tightness, or those mysterious twitches are worth paying attention to. If you've ever had restless legs or sudden nighttime cramps, type magnesium in the comments. You might be surprised how many people say, "Me too." Now that we've talked about the mineral that helps your muscles let go, let's turn to one that helps them fire with strength and precision: potassium. Have you ever stood too long at the kitchen counter at church, in line at the store, and suddenly felt your legs start to shake, just slightly? That gentle tremble, that quiet, uneasy feeling. It's your body asking for help. And more often than not, what it needs is potassium. Potassium is one of the body's key electrolytes. It keeps your muscles firing correctly, your nerves talking clearly, and your fluid levels balanced. Without enough potassium, the conversation between your brain and your muscles becomes distorted. That's when the misfires happen, like spasms, cramps, or trembling legs that no longer feel grounded. Dr. Karen Lopez recalls one of her patients, Ben, a 70-year-old former mechanic who said, "I can lift an engine, but now I get shaky just standing by the stove." For months, he had brushed it off as age. But when Dr. Lopez reviewed his blood work, one thing stood out: low potassium. Turns out, Ben had been sweating a lot more while gardening under the summer sun, losing potassium without realizing. Plus, some of his medications were depleting it further. After adding bananas, sweet potatoes, and beans to his meals, and cutting back on overly processed foods, Ben's strength returned. Not in a dramatic way, but in subtle, everyday moments. "I stood through my grandson's entire soccer game without sitting once," he told her. "That meant a lot to me." What many people don't realize is that potassium doesn't just prevent cramps. It also protects bone strength by balancing acidity in the body. It's part of the reason people with potassium-rich diets tend to maintain better mobility and fewer fractures over time. And the good news, you don't need anything fancy. Just a mix of whole foods: bananas, oranges, leafy greens, potatoes, avocados, beans, can give your body exactly what it's been quietly asking for. If you've ever experienced shaky legs, or nighttime spasms, or even just feel curious about your potassium levels, comment the word potassium below. Your story might just help someone else recognize theirs. Up next, we shift from muscle signals to where those minerals go once they're in your body. Because without the right guidance, calcium can end up in all the wrong places. Let's meet Vitamin King, your body's natural traffic director. What if your body was doing all the right things, but sending the nutrients to all the wrong places? That's exactly what can happen when your body lacks vitamin K, while calcium and vitamin D often steal the spotlight when it comes to bone strength. Vitamin K is the one working behind the scenes, guiding minerals into your bones, where they belong, and keeping them out of places they don't, like arteries, joints, and soft tissue. Dr. Karen Lopez once met a woman named Gloria, a retired librarian who had always taken her vitamins faithfully. Calcium, vitamin D, multivitamins, you name it. But she still struggled with knee stiffness, and her most recent scan showed her bones weren't getting stronger. After a few more questions and a simple dietary review, Dr. Lopez realized Gloria's meals were missing something critical: greens. Gloria smiled and admitted, "I never liked spinach as a kid, and I guess that never changed. Vitamin K, especially in its cone form, is most abundant in leafy greens like kale, spinach, and Swiss chard. It activates a protein called osteocalcin, which literally locks calcium into your bones, making them denser and more resilient. Without enough K, calcium can float around aimlessly, and that's where problems begin. But there's more. Vitamin K also supports joint comfort and muscle coordination. Recent research shows it may play a role in reducing inflammation, especially around the knees and hips, areas that many older adults struggle with. And here's the beautiful part. Gloria didn't need a drastic change. Just one handful of greens a day, added to her omelets, blended into smoothies, or tossed into soup, made a real difference. At her next visit, she told Dr. Lopez, "My knees don't feel stuck anymore. I'm not avoiding the stairs like I used to. There's also a second form of this vitamin, vitamin K2, found in fermented foods like natto, aged cheese, and egg yolks. K2 stays in the body longer and may be even more effective in helping calcium get where it's needed most. If you've been taking calcium or D for years but still feel stiffness in your joints, vitamin K might be your missing link." Drop a quick KA in the comments if you're curious about how to add more greens or fermented foods to your meals. You might pick up a few ideas from others too. Next, we'll explore a vitamin that powers your muscles from the inside by helping your body build red blood cells and reduce muscle fatigue. Let's talk about vitamin B6. Have you ever felt unusually tired after doing something that used to be easy? Like walking across a parking lot or carrying a bag of groceries. Sometimes it's not just about age or effort. It's about whether your muscles are getting the fuel they need. And one of the key players in that process is vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 works behind the scenes to keep your muscles energized, your nerves firing smoothly, and your red blood cells producing oxygen efficiently. It's what helps your body use protein to build and repair muscle. Without it, even strong muscles begin to feel sluggish and slow to recover. Dr. Karen Lopez remembers a patient named Sylvia, a soft-spoken artist in her 70s who loved painting in the park. But lately, she had stopped going. Not because she didn't want to, but because the walk from the parking lot to her favorite bench left her completely winded. "I feel like I'm carrying bricks in my legs," she told Dr. Lopez. "And I don't understand why." Sylvia's lab results showed her B6 levels were significantly low. She hadn't been eating much protein lately, and her digestive health wasn't great. Both common issues in older adults that can reduce B6 absorption. With some small but meaningful shifts, adding in foods like salmon, chickpeas, bananas, and fortified whole grains, her strength slowly returned. "I went back to the park," she later said, "and I stayed for hours." Vitamin B6 also plays a critical role in nerve signaling, which affects balance and coordination. Low B6 can lead to tingling, numbness, or that strange feeling when your legs just don't listen the way they used to. And because it supports hemoglobin production, B6 ensures that oxygen gets where it needs to go, especially to hardworking leg muscles. And here's the thing. B6 isn't just about more energy. It's about more life in your legs. Less heaviness, quicker recovery, and smoother movement. If you've ever felt your legs tiring faster than they used to, or noticed a delay in how they respond, type B6 in the comments. You'll be surprised how many others feel the same way. And now, we turn to one more nutrient that brings everything together. It helps oxygen flow, muscles grow, and energy return. Let's meet iron, your leg's silent engine. Have your legs ever felt heavy? Not sore, not cramping, just that slow, dragging weight. Like lifting them takes more effort than it should. That's often how iron deficiency first shows up, not as pain, but as a quiet, persistent fatigue in your muscles. especially the ones you rely on most, your legs. Iron is essential for producing hemoglobin, the part of your red blood cells that carries oxygen. And without enough oxygen reaching your muscles, even short walks or simple chores can leave you feeling winded and weak. Dr. Karen Lopez remembers Charles, a retired mail carrier in his early 70s. He came in saying, "I don't get it. I used to walk miles every day. Now, I can barely make it up my own driveway." At first glance, Charles seemed healthy. No major joint issues, no injuries. But blood tests revealed low iron levels and signs of mild anemia. He hadn't been eating much red meat lately, and a recent shift to a low-acid diet had quietly limited his iron absorption even further. With Dr. Lopez's guidance, Charles began incorporating more iron-rich foods like lentils, spinach, eggs, and a little lean beef, paired with vitamin C sources like oranges to help absorption. After a few weeks, he came back smiling. "It feels like someone took the weights off my legs. Iron deficiency isn't just about being tired. It's about muscles that can perform because they're starved of the oxygen they need." And for older adults, this kind of fatigue is often misattributed to aging when it's actually something that can be tested and treated. It's also worth noting that people who take certain medications, have digestive conditions, or follow vegetarian or low-meat diets may be more likely to develop low iron over time, especially if they don't pair it with the right supporting nutrients. If you ever felt that quiet heaviness in your legs, or found yourself needing to sit down more often than before, drop the word iron in the comments. Your story might help someone else realize there's a solution. Now that we've covered the 10 key nutrients that support strong, steady legs, let's bring it all together with one simple takeaway to carry with you long after this video ends. Your legs carry more than just your body. They carry your independence, your memories, your moments of joy and freedom, whether it's dancing with your spouse in the living room, chasing grandkids in the backyard, or walking hand in hand with a friend on a crisp autumn morning. And here's the truth. You don't have to accept weakness, cramps, or instability as just part of getting older. Sometimes it's not your age, it's your nutrition. Today, we explored 8 essential nutrients, like vitamin D, B12, magnesium, potassium, and iron, that directly affect how your legs feel, move, and recover. We heard stories of people like Linda, Diana, Charles, who thought they were losing strength, but discovered they were simply missing what their bodies needed. And now, it's your turn. Take one small step today, whether it's adding leafy greens to dinner, checking your B12 levels, or simply walking with the sun on your skin. Tiny shifts, done consistently, can create powerful change. If this video resonated with you, or if you learned something new, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a quick comment with the nutrients you're most excited to focus on. Vitamin D, magnesium, iron, or just type strong legs to show you're committed to staying active and free. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because next week, we're diving into something even deeper. The hidden causes of muscle loss after 60, and how to reverse it naturally. You won't want to miss it. Until then, stay strong, stay steady, and never stop moving forward. We're right here with you.